Good morning, YouTube. I know it's been like 3 weeks since I did my last video, so this video is going to be a massive book cram, if you want to call it that. Basically, I'll go over the books I did read, the books that I plan to read for my TBRs for the rest of this month and October. There's like a lot of books, so I don't know if I'll be able to make it through all of these by the end of next month. I might, maybe, I don't know. I hope to. And before we go into the books, I figured I'd explain what the heck happened. Where have I been? I had gotten COVID, and so I was sick for several weeks. My husband had gotten sick with COVID, so that was just a mission in itself. I'm trying to get better. I did manage to be able to read some books while I was in quarantine on the days that I did feel okay. So those are the books that I will go over with you guys. But I just want to let you know, I did miss you guys. It wasn't intentionally that I disappeared. I was pretty sick. And I didn't want you guys hearing me coughing up a lung throughout a video, so I waited until I got better, and thank God I did get better. And yeah, so let's continue on with the books. So, got a little stack here. So the first book that I read is Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. I give this book 5 stars. I don't remember if I talked about this book in my my last video. If I did, I apologize if I'm doing it again. For those of you who don't know about this book, it is a thriller, really good thriller. And it's about a woman who, her name is Laurel. She loses her daughter. Her daughter goes missing, and years later they find her remains, and the cops just mark it down as a runaway. And one day, while Laurel's trying to put her life back together after losing her daughter, she meets this guy, and she starts to have strong feelings for him, and she ends up meeting his youngest daughter, Poppy, who looks exactly like her daughter, Ellie, that went missing. And so that basically kind of sparks her into suspicion, like, okay, so what really happened to my daughter? I highly, highly recommend this book. It was really, really, really good. It constantly had me on the edge of my seat. The twists and the turns were awesome. By the time I got to the end of the book, I was bawling in tears. My heart broke. And I don't want to give any spoilers onto why, so I'll just leave it at that. But if you really like thrillers, I highly recommend you read this book or any book from Lisa Jewell. She's a really good thriller writer. I really do enjoy her books. I actually have 2 other books that I have for my TBR that I plan to read of hers that I'll be showing a little bit later, but definitely recommend this book. Definitely. The next book I did talk about in my last video, and that's Sunny Side Up, so I'm not really going to get into it too much, but for those of you who didn't see last video or you're not familiar with this book, it's a middle grade graphic novel, colored graphic novel, which is really good, about a young girl named Sunny that has to go live with her grandpa for the summer, and she doesn't really understand why. She thinks she knows why. She notices her brother was kind of changing, and she felt like she was the one to blame. But it turns out it really wasn't her fault. I really did enjoy this book. It's a really good lesson learner for younger kids who have an older sibling they might see their older sibling doing things they shouldn't do, that teenagers shouldn't be getting themselves into, and they don't quite understand it, and so they feel like it's their fault kind of thing when it's not. So this is a good book for, kids to read, and they can understand, sometimes what they see is not really their fault. It has nothing to do with them at all. But I do also kind of recommend this for any age level, kids, adults. It was just a really happy, fun, fast read. I devoured this within an hour. But yeah, sunny side up. I believe I gave this between a 4 and a 5 star. I think I gave it a 5. I gotta check my trusty journal. I gave this a 5 star. And good 5 stars. Put that behind me. This next book, I read part of it, but I did not finish it. I actually DNF'd, and that's Willa of the Wood. I have not gotten rid of it because I do want to try to get back into this book to see if I can, finally finish the book and give my full opinion on it. But as of right now, no. The next book that I read was The Hunger Games. This is the first book of the Hunger Games series by Suzanne Collins. This was actually a reread for me. I've read this before a couple of years back, and I really enjoyed it. I've seen all the movies. I've enjoyed the movies. And I had noticed recently, I know I'm behind, probably came out like a while, but I just noticed it recently, that Suzanne Collins came out with a 4th book in the series that technically is the prequel to The Hunger Games, because it's supposed to be the teen life, I want to say, of Snow. And so I'd really like to read that one to kind of see where he's coming from, and if it really, basically to learn what made him to be this bitter, nasty man. But since it was a while since I've actually read the books, I decided to go ahead and reread the books. I rewatched the movies recently. Still love them. Rereading the book, I liked it a lot. I did, however, give the book 4 stars, and that's only because the book in certain times, it did kind of drag on a little bit. But other than that, I did like it a lot. There was a lot of humor in the book, and there's also a lot of dark scenes that are in the book that aren't in the movie. That I really enjoyed, to be able to go back and forth between the movie and the book and be able to compare the two. If I had to choose which one I liked better, I gotta say I can't. I like them both equally because they're both different in their own way, and they're also similar because they're movies based on the book. But I like how they interpreted the book and the movie a lot, and I really like the story, how it was written a lot at the same time. If I had to choose a favorite character, I know a lot of people, their favorite character would be the main characters, Katniss and Peeta. Mine would honestly have to be Haymitch. More because of his sarcastic personality and the way he is. It reminds me a lot of my husband. He can have a little sarcasm, but he doesn't mean anything by it. He's just a big old goofball. My husband's laying right next to me laughing at me. The next book that I read, I don't have the physical copy of it. I do have the ebook on my tablet, so I'm going to pull it up really quick to show you guys. Probably should have had this up before the video, but you forget things. Oh, my hair is up right now because it's completely nasty this morning. Here we go. Let's see if I can just... Oops. That was not what I wanted to do. cover page. Forgot to bring it back to the cover page. How's your day going? There we go. And this one is called, I don't know if you can see it, there we go. Heir of Bitter Thorn. There we go. It is the prequel to the Bitter Thorn series written by K.L. Moody. I was able to get this from a giveaway she was doing. I was one of the winners. So I was really happy to actually get it. I read it. I enjoyed it. I gave it a 4.5 stars. The story, very good story, very descriptive. You can really picture how the characters look, how they dressed, what the land of Fae looks like. They did a really good job with it. I'm not too crazy about the prince in the story, Prince Brannick. In my opinion, he seems a little full of himself. That just could be just me in my opinion. I do plan on reading the rest of the series. I do have book 1 of the Bitter Thorn series on my tablet there that I plan to read eventually. The only reason why I'm not adding it to my TBR for the rest of September and October is because I have a lot of thriller and horror books that I really want to read for this time. It's because it's the fall time. And then after I get through all these, then I'll probably go back and, read the Bitter Thorn series again. But yeah, so those were the 5 books that I've read since you last saw me in my video, and I've been sick. So now I'll go over the books that I plan to read for the rest of this month and all of October, and possibly flow out into November. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. I did start reading Dal A for Aunties. I know I mentioned it in my other video. I have not finished it yet. I do enjoy it, don't get me wrong. I'm just putting it to the side because, like I said, right now I'm really into a thrillers kind of mood. But what I'll probably do is I'll probably squeeze it in between my thriller reading to kind of, calm my brain in between. But the first stack I have here is, first one is Dark Places by Gillian Flynn. And yeah, you can ignore that. I haven't had a chance to get the stickers off. I'm not really too sure what this book is about. I just grabbed it because Gillian Flynn is also the author of Gone Girl. And that's right here that I plan to read. And I've heard really good things about her writing. So I picked this one up. One of the blurbs on the back says, "A riveting tale of true horror by a writer who has all the gifts to pull it off." So that's this book. It's a thriller, by the way, obviously. Every book you can see here is either thriller, suspense horror, along that genre. Let's see here. I'll read this summary in the back. Libby Day was 7 when her mother and 2 sisters were murdered in the Satan sacrifice of Kentucky, Kansas. She survived and famously testified that her 15-year-old brother Ben was the killer. 25 years later, the Kill Club, a secret society obsessed with notorious crimes, locates Libby and pumps her for details. They hope to discover proof that may free Ben. Libby hopes to turn a profit off her tragic history. She'll reconnect with the players from that night and report her finders to the club for a fee. As Libby's search takes her from shabby Missouri strip clubs to abandoned Oklahoma tourist towns, the unimaginable truth emerges, and Libby finds herself right back where she started, on the run from a killer. Sounds pretty interesting. I'm a little iffy on the Satan sacrifice part. I didn't notice that when I got the book. Um, yeah. Other than that, sounds pretty good. I don't even know where to put this. So, second book, which you saw, was Gone Girl. I've heard a lot about Gone Girl, that it's really good. It's a good thriller. So, I got it. Tried to read it. Um, Again, I don't know too much about it. When I hear about a book that's really good, I don't really take look at it that much of what it's about. If from what I hear about it, it sounds good, I'll just take it. But here in the top of the summary it says marriage can be a real killer. So, and it says one of the most critically acclaimed suspense writers of our time, New York Times bestseller Gillian Flynn, takes that statement to its darkest place in this unputdownable masterpiece about a marriage gone terribly, terribly wrong. My husband just alerted me there's actually a movie based on this. I have not seen it, but I'll definitely try to look it up and watch it. If that shows how behind I am on some books, I apologize. But yeah, Gone Girl. These next two books are from the same author. The first book is... gotta get the stickers off. Is The Family Upstairs by Lisa Jewell. And Invisible Girl by Lisa Jewell. And like I said before, I love Lisa Jewell. I love her books. They're awesome. These are the next two books of hers that I want to read. There's another book in her series. I think it's back here. Where is it? Yes. The Girls in the Garden, I don't have yet, but I definitely plan on getting it, and I definitely plan on getting her newest book that she just came out with. That one I'm really excited to try to get my hands on. That one actually was rated at 5 stars on Goodreads, I believe. But Invisible Girl... let's see. I don't want to give any spoilers. It's basically about a woman named Sapphire Maddox, who I guess under 3 years was under the care of a renowned child psychologist. And I guess she starts stalking him, from what I can read here. A lot of the blurbs is full of twists you won't see coming. In classic Jewel fashion, it's unputdownable, gripping, haunting, chilling. It also says, named a most anticipated book by Pop Sugar, BuzzFeed, E! Online, New York Post, Goodreads, Crime by the Book, FabFitFun, BookBub, Get Literary, Book Reporter, CBS New York, and Frolic. So, if that tells you anything, get this book. I'm telling you, you're not going to be disappointed. Now, The Family Upstairs... let me see. Basically about I guess a woman named Libby who returns home and basically inherits her family home and finds out there's, what I'm reading here, there's family she didn't know about that want to meet her and she wants to meet her, but obviously there's some dark secrets. One blurb here by AJ Finn says, the family upstairs glitters like a blade and cuts even deeper. So, really excited to read this book as well. This next book I have here, this might actually be the first one that I might start reading out of my entire stack that I have here. And this one is called Ace of Spades by, I'm going to try to pronounce the name, Farida Abik Ayamide. I'm so sorry if I just butchered that whole thing. But this is what it looks like. From what I was told and when I hear a lot about it, it's basically Gossip Girl versus mixed with the Get Out. If you don't know what Get Out is a movie about a black and white couple. They go to visit the wife's family or the girlfriend's family. I don't remember if they're married. And her family lives in this very small town that's basically all white people, and the black people that are there are acting very weird. They're basically treated like slaves there, but there's a creepy reason behind it on why it's happening. But this book is basically about these two characters, and they both go to a private school, and they're the only two black students in the entire school. And one day they start getting these texts from somebody called Ace of Spades that knows things about them and basically is threatening to openly tell the whole school their secrets. So I've heard a lot about this. A lot of booktubers read this book and enjoyed it. I believe Gabby Reads was one. Mel Reads also has it. Olivia Reads a Latte picked this book up. Don't remember who else. I watched so many book readers. I think Katie Olsen, she also picked it up and liked it a lot. So I went ahead and got it. But I think this is going to be the first one I want to start reading because I really want to start reading this one. The next book I've got here is by Karen M. McManus, and it's called The Cousins. And on the back, it says, families keep the best secrets, even from each other. So I figured I'd go ahead and pick this up. I've had my eye on this book for a while at Barnes & Noble. At first, I was kind of not sure if I wanted, but then I was hearing a lot of good things about it. And funny enough, one of my cousins, shout out to Megan, she texted me one day and she's like, hey, did you hear about the book called The Cousins? It's really good. So I was like, you know what? You finally sold me. And I went and picked it up. So I think what I'll probably do is read this one first, followed by this one, and then so on and so forth. So the next pile that I have this book here. It's called The Westing Game. I saw this on a YouTuber's channel. She seemed to enjoy it. It's not really a horror book per se. I just added it to the list because it's a really tiny book, so I figured it's a nice little small book to read in between. But basically, the back says a bizarre chain of events begin when 16 unlikely people gather for the reading of Samuel W. Westing's will. And though no one knows why, the eccentric game-loving millionaire has chosen a virtual stranger and a possible murderer to inherit his vast fortune. One thing's for sure: Sam Westing may be dead, but that won't stop him from playing one last game. So it sounds like it might be a little bit of a thriller. But yeah, definitely check that one out. Next book here, I still haven't opened it. It's a special Barnes & Noble exclusive Stephen King book. I just love this cover. It actually has 3 books in one. It's got Carrie, The Shining, and Salem lot. And for this book, I'm gonna go ahead and I plan to read The Shining in this book for my TBR. I mean, look at these sprayed edges. They're beautiful. I haven't even opened this book yet. It's probably gonna be gorgeous on the inside as well. For those of you who don't really know what The Shining is about, it's basically about. Okay, so Stephen King was staying at the Stanley Hotel, and he experienced some things while he was there, and with his experiences, he wrote the book The Shining, which is basically his experience there at the Stanley Hotel. It's considered one of the most haunted hotels. They did make a movie. They made two versions of the movie. One starring Jack Nicholson, which I personally I enjoyed, but Stephen King did not like it because it was not anything like what he wrote in his book, and that's what made him upset, which I can understand. And then there was another version of it that they came out with that was basically based on his book that he preferred more. I haven't seen that one. I haven't really heard anything about it as much. I still enjoyed Jack Nicholson's version. Even I might try to look up the other version just to kind of compare it, just for my own opinion. But a little tidbit that probably some people didn't know: the actress who played Jack Nicholson's wife in the movie, actually, she after the movie actually caused her to have a lot of mental illness that she never healed from, and just completely got worse. You can probably look her up on YouTube with interviews where she acts really strange and she talks to herself. She claims that she sees things. Her family's tried to get her help, but she just refuses. I mean, it is her choice, but it is kind of sad how that movie basically destroyed her life mentally. But yeah, so I can't wait to read The Shining. I love it. I do have the sequel of The Shining on my shelf, Dr. Sleep. Did see the movie. Liked the movie. I did start reading the book. Stupid me, instead of reading the first book first, I went ahead and jumped to the second book. So far, I'm enjoying it. But I'm gonna put a hold on that one so I can finish reading The Shining and then go ahead and back to the sequel. The next book I have on my gigantic TBR list here is Left Behind by Tim LaHaye and Jerry B. Jenkins. This is the first book of a 13-book series. It is a Christian series. Christian thriller suspense series, I would say. Basically, the whole series is based on the trials and rapture that's in the Bible that states is coming very soon. I've heard a lot of good things about this book series. It's a fantastic series, and so I've been wanting to read it. It took me almost 6 months to try to get all the books in the series. I am still missing the very last book in the series. I've been told it's very hard to find, and I don't blame them. I know it's available on Amazon, so I might just break down and get it there. I've been trying to see if I can find it like thrift stores or garage sales, but I haven't been lucky, so I might just say, heck with it, and just get it on Amazon. But yeah, so this is book 1. There is a 3-book prequel trilogy of this story that I probably should start reading first, but I don't know, I might just skip over it because I really want to start this series so bad. This next book here came out a couple months ago, and it's called The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. I still really want to get his newest book that he came out with, The Maidens. I've heard that one was really good. I haven't had a chance to really get it. Basically, this book is about a woman who had the perfect marriage, perfect life, everything was fine. Till one day she decided to, was it stab her husband or shoot him? Yeah. She ends up shooting her husband 5 times and killing him, and then since then doesn't talk at all. And so basically this psychologist trying to get her to talk to figure out what the heck made her snap, like out of nowhere. When you had the perfect life, perfect husband, like, what the heck happened? So yeah. Can't wait to read the book. There's a funny story behind this book, though. I originally saw this book at Walmart, and I wanted to get it, but then something told me not to get it at that moment. And that same day that I went to Walmart, after Walmart, I had gone to the thrift store with my mom. Happened to be, down the street, and we figured, why not? We're out. And this happened to be there in the thrift store, so I got it there at the thrift store for like $1. So, yeah, I really looked out with this one. This next book here that I'm really excited to get into, and I've been saving it for the fall time since I got it, is the Southerners Book Club Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. I still have not read his Final Girl Support Group book. I don't have it yet. I want it really bad. Am I gonna get it? Most likely. Do I know when? No, not at all. But I do plan on getting it. So this book is about a group of women that they have their own little book club, and they believe that their neighbor is a vampire, and so they try to come up with this plan on how they're gonna basically kill him. One thing that I do like about this book is it takes place in the 1990s. I was born in 1990, so I really enjoy finding books, especially thriller books, that take place in my time period where I grew up, and then I can kind of like go back in time from when I grew up and kind of compare, see how well they got my time era correct, which I'm pretty sure he did. He's Grady Hendrix is also a really good author. There's a couple other books of his that I have on my TBR that I'd like to get. There's the Final Girl Support Group. There's Lock Every Door. I know there's one more. I just can't remember what it's called. That I'd really like to get from him one day. But yeah, so that's this book. And then the last book of my giant TBR list is called The Sundown Motel by Simone St. James. I saw this book from one of Gabby Reed's videos. She promoted it a lot. This book has 2 parts. The first part's about a woman who works at a motel, the Sundown Motel, and one day mysteriously disappears. In the second part, her niece, who grows up to the age where she can, she's an adult now, and she knows that her aunt disappeared when she was a child, but she doesn't know why she disappeared or where she disappeared to. All she knows is that it might have something to do with this motel, and so she decides to travel to this motel to find answers. So, it really intrigued me. This author is the also author who wrote The Broken Girls. I have not read that book. I might look into that one. On the back here, the blurb here says deliciously creepy, a chilling blend of mystery and ghost story that will thrill fans of both. Another one is spooky, unsettling, and brilliantly written. The Sundown Motel is mesmerizing from the first page. A breathlessly suspenseful... I can't talk anymore. Suspenseful supernatural mystery that will hook you early and never let go. And that was from a Jennifer Hillier, award-winning author of Jar of Hearts. That is another book on my TBR that I really want to get. The one that said deliciously creepy, chilling blend of mystery and ghost story that will thrill fans of both was Riley Sager. Go figure. Another great author. Oops. Yeah, Riley Sager's the one of Lock Every Door, not Grady Hendrix. I apologize for that goof up there. But, yeah. So, that is my gigantic stack of books that I plan to try to read for the rest of this month, throughout October, and possibly November. We'll see how far I go. Yeah. If you see any of the books here and you like, go ahead and comment down below which ones your favorite are. Or just comment down, what are your favorite thriller books that you like to read or what you plan to read for September and for October. I definitely want to see what you guys are into. But yeah. So don't forget to subscribe down below and click the notification bell so that way you'll always be alerted when I post videos up on my channel here. And I hope you guys enjoyed everything that you saw here, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!